If you watched my truck build up until now, you're probably wondering what's next for that truck as far as modifications go, and here's a preview of that. So at some point I made a video upgrading my brakes to Willwood calipers and a 2-piece rotor, and that was a lot of fun. It was cool, but I needed to take it to the next level. I wanted to take it to the next level, let's be honest. I didn't need it, right? Those brakes are more than sufficient. They're far more than what it had stock, and honestly, the next level that I'm taking it to is really overkill. But once Mike came up with the whole like Brembo setup for these Tacomas, I was one of the first people to jump aboard and buy the parts. I just never got around to the installation. The difference is, at the time, I was a single guy collecting an engineering salary with zero financial responsibilities, so I decided to create the baller version of Mike's Brembo brake upgrade for Tacomas. So I ordered Girodisc 2-piece rotors for an Evo. I ordered originally ATS-V calipers, ATS calipers, and what I actually got in the box was one ATS caliper and one CTS-V caliper. I lined them up next to each other and I realized that the mounting pattern is exactly the same. Knowing that, what I ended up doing is I ordered another ATS and another CTS-V. I sold off that set of ATS calipers, and now I have these CTS-Vs that I'm going to use. I actually made a good friend by selling those ATS calipers. I met another fellow Tacoma guy down here in Miami. I've hung out with him, helped him convert his truck to manual, did a bunch of stuff. But yeah, this is what I'm doing next on my truck that's got me excited. I've got that big brake upgrade. I just need to take the rotors to be machined. They have to open up the central bore so that the Tacoma hub can fit through it, and obviously drill the bolt pattern so the Tacoma hub can bolt to that. I've also got a white face gauge cluster with a built-in tachometer. These gauge clusters are highly desirable. They're from the later Tacoma. They look much nicer than what's in mine. Mine doesn't have a built-in tachometer. So it's just a much nicer cluster. The only downside is my truck has a cable-driven speedometer instead of an electrical-driven speedometer, so I have to make a conversion there. And also, these were wired, although the plugs are from the harness are exactly the same, these are wired completely differently. So I have to mess with the wiring diagrams for both trucks in order to get that to work properly in my truck. Out of curiosity, I tried connecting and see what would happen, and it lit up, but everything was reading completely wrong. The fuel was wrong, the tachometer wasn't running. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm going to have to do to make it work. But I still want to do that. It's going to be something exciting, and ultimately, like, it's going to make it a much better truck. Now, these aren't the only mods I have. I've also got a different rear end for the truck planned, and with that, new rear brakes, which I'm going to go to disc. I don't want to stay with the drums anymore, because if I'm going to have these blingy brakes in the front, may as well bling out the back, right? Here's the other big upgrade that I've also got planned. It is a Ford 8.8 rear differential, and I've got some ZL1 rear Brembo brake calipers. These have obviously been repainted from the factory. They would have been silver or black, and this individual put the Brembo sticker on upside down. Hilarious. But anyway, this is the final part of my complete overhaul for my truck. And that's going to give me a limited slip. I'm going to have a much stronger diff, right? It's going to be 8.8 instead of the 7 point whatever the stock Tacoma one is. And I'll be upgrading to rear disc brakes. So I'm probably going to order some StopTech rear rotors for an Evo 8. I'm going to also have to have these hubs machined down on the axles to the 67.1 millimeter spec that both the Tacoma and the Evo use, obviously, so that the rotors fit, the wheels fit as stock. I'll also be knocking out the wheel studs there and putting some extended ARPs like I have on my truck currently, just so that it all matches. But that is the whole of what I have planned for the truck as far as upgrades go. Once all of that is in place, I will be doing part collection for a turbo build. I'd like to have a built head. Obviously, I'd like to have a very nice turbo. I don't want to do just any old turbo. I would love to do a Borg Warner EFR. That's going to be an investment. And unlike when I put together the fancy front brake upgrade, I am no longer a single man, right? I'm now married and own a house and have other financial responsibilities. I don't have an entire engineer salary devoted to just whatever the heck I want. So I'm going to have to be responsible as I save up for my turbo setup. Moving right along, this is the next repair I have planned for the truck. I have a new master and slave cylinder. My current ones have been giving me a little trouble. I think they're maybe on their way out. I'm going to try bleeding them first. Either way, I may try and get new components. These trucks are getting older. Replacement parts for them are going to get rarer, so even if I end up not using these, it'll be a very good idea to have them on the shelf. All that being said, stay tuned to the channel. There's some interesting things coming up soon. And again, if you like this kind of content, feel free to like and subscribe, leave a comment. I think everyone tells you to like click that notification bell to make sure you're notified when a new video comes up. If that's what you desire, go ahead. I would love for more of you guys to watch my videos. Thank you for watching.